Three, two, one.
You ready?
Listening to the Real Pineapple Podcast Network. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. This is the Real Pineapple. This is your humble host, Hunter, here, and I'm here. I am here to talk about the first official trailer for Zack Snyder's Justice League, which, God help us, this is actually a thing. Okay, so I'm going to start with the panel first. So, as I mentioned, I watched DC Fandom all day today. I woke up at 6 a.m., so if you hear a couple yawns, that's why. But I woke up at 6 a.m. It started at 10 Pacific. I was all logged on my computer. I was ready to go. And the Zack Snyder's Justice League, because I refuse to call it the Snyder Cut, the panel was, I think, like at 3, something like that, like 3:15. And, actually, I think it was like 2:15. Anyways, but the film, here's the thing. This whole Snyder Cut movement, it feels like it's more about the movement than it is about the film. And that's where I will say my frustration comes in. Because Zack Snyder, here's the thing. I've made no qualms about how I feel about Zack Snyder. I think Zack Snyder is an incredibly ignorant human being, and the way in particular he responded to this tweet that I'm trying to find, I gotta be honest, guys, it's very frustrating to me, because here's the thing. This man, Zack Snyder, actually, here, I have the tweet right here. So, Scott Mendelson, if you're not familiar with Scott Mendelson, he is I believe he's a critic. And Scott Mendelson, he had a comment about what Zack Snyder said. He works for Forbes. So he said, so the trailer for the Snyder Cut of Justice League looks like ... the same movie. Lots of deleted scenes from the marketing campaign, but otherwise it looks like alternate takes on existing scenes. So, yeah, there's a lot. So here's where I think I kind of get what he's saying, because, yeah, it's lots of deleted scenes from the campaign, like especially the initial like teaser trailer. But there is different stuff going on here. So, I mean, for example, we actually get to see Darkseid. Okay, so speaking of Darkseid, I'm not even gonna say I'm not crazy about it. I hate the character design on Darkseid. I think it looks genuinely terrible. And here's the thing, guys. If you guys notice when you watch the trailer, this isn't a huge deal, I think, for some people, but here it isn't a big deal for me, and this is why. So the title screen reiterates that this film, that Justice League, it's a Warner Max and HBO Max original, and not just a Warner Brothers movie. The reason that's important to note is that Zack Snyder won't be subjected to the same, executive influence that happened the first time. So, I'm going to tell you right now, if this movie is not good, if you are a Zack Snyder apologist and here's the thing, I understand. Because look, even though I definitely like Marvel stuff more than I like DC's, I am still a DC fan. I own Batman and Batman Beyond, both collector's editions. I'm wearing a Black Mask Club black gold foil t-shirt right now. I do like a lot of the DC properties. Black Lightning especially. Black Lightning's great. But the thing is about this whole thing is that anyone who has not wanted to see the Snyder Cut, or anyone who just doesn't like Zack Snyder has been so incredibly targeted by the people who are, I'm gonna call it what it is, insane for this movie. Like, really insane about it. Because people forget this started off as Zack Snyder, and let's call it what it is, being a dick and just dropping these little, behind the scenes pictures and all that. And it really felt at multiple times that this was gonna kind of just go away. But Zack Snyder kept finding a way to poke the bear and really rile up his fan base into demanding this movie. And to an extent, I actually feel bad for HBO and for Warner Brothers, because they were kind of bullied into doing this shit because people wouldn't leave this alone. So pardon me if I'm not over the moon about A, how this is created, and, B, the fact that it's happening. The thing that's really upsetting about this is that Zack Snyder, like I said, this is what Zack Snyder said, by the way, in response to Scott Middleton. He said, "You said you enjoyed the theatrical cut of Justice League like you enjoy your Saturday morning cartoons. Well, this is made for grown-ups, so you're not in the demographic. Also cool of you to comment on a leaked teaser." So that's what Zack Snyder said. Here's the thing. Why would you say that the day that your trailer comes out? There's no reason to say that. And I understand Zack Snyder has been has been ripe for ridicule. He's taken a lot of crap from people over the years, myself included. But the thing is, don't be a director then if you can't handle criticism. And it feels like Zack Snyder really can't handle criticism. And a lot of the fans of this film already are really getting very, very aggressive out the gate. So I'm gonna say what I've been saying ever since this damn Snyder Cut was announced. If this comes out and you're one of those people who, was like, support the Snyder Cut, fuck the haters, all that. If you're one of those people and Zack Snyder's Justice League is a bad film, you do not get to run away and hide and go, "Oh, come on, give me a break." No, because you flat out have bullied people into liking this, or telling them that they're a hater, or telling them that they're a Marvel nerd and that's why they don't like it. Look, I will be the first to admit, I love Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead remake. I love Legend of the Guardians. Everything else Zack Snyder's made, Watchmen, I think is a very overrated film. Has some great performances. Jackie Earl Haley and Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Patrick Warburton too. Malin Ackerman sucks in that. And then Man of Steel, which I will admit I have softened on a little bit. I still think the back half of the movie really falls apart, and him snapping Zod's neck irks me to no end. But I still think there's some really great elements in Man of Steel. Really, once he becomes Superman, that's where I actually got the most bored, to be honest. But, so with Snyder saying that and tweeting it out so everyone's seeing it, like, dude, you are putting so much more pressure on yourself and on this film to be a success. That's where I go, you need to be careful about what you're saying right now, because again, there are people like me who are really sick of hearing about the Snyder Cut shit and just want it to come out. There are people who want this to be great regardless. There are people who want this to fucking fail. Like, everyone's kind of all over the spectrum on this, and I'm gonna say what I told Leia. Considering how kind of, I hope this is great, but I don't know, I thought the Batman's gonna be, that trailer got me more excited for that film than this got me for Justice League. Especially the panel, which I'm gonna call it what it is. Zack Snyder really didn't talk about the movie. He just talked about how, oh, the fans made this movement, da 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 da. It was really so self-congratulatory. I was like, wow, what an ignorant piece of crap. So it makes me not want this film to do well. So, look, there are a couple things I will be the first to admit I enjoyed. So, If you notice, when we get the reveal of Darkseid, the trailer goes back to the whole nightmare sequence shown in Batman vs Superman: Yawn of Justice, which, admittedly, Warner Brothers made really irrelevant by cutting off the Justice League sequel and the plans for what Snyder was going to do. Seeing the Hall of Justice destroyed there and seeing Wonder Woman's shield and Aquaman's trident there in the rubble, if you see it, that's a great shot. I think that's a genuinely great shot. And then if you keep watching, you'll see a card that flies at you at the screen in this breeze. That was a Joker card that Batman had on the butt of his gun in the nightmare sequence. I thought that was a very nice callback. You look at later on in the trailer how you see Batman looking up at the screen. He's looking at a hologram, and it's clearly Superman that he's looking at, even though it doesn't, show it. That is the part of the movie I could see being done better. Is because now, granted, I'm just gonna ignore BVS in the sense of, Batman barely knew Superman and and, Martha's a safe word. I'm going to ignore all that. The fact of the matter is that Superman did die and that Bruce Wayne, Batman, at the end of the day, wants to honor Superman's legacy. That's what leads to the creation of the Justice League. So if they could flesh that out more, I think that could actually really be something. What I'm immediately concerned about, that I will be the first to say, is Aquaman. Because the way that Aquaman's being shot here and what they're showing in the trailer, it seems like they're trying to take more of the Aqua Bro out of Aquaman and make him more serious. And to be honest, Aquaman's one of those characters, he's like Ant-Man. Like, Ant-Man shouldn't be serious all the time. You need to have some fun with Ant-Man. And Aquaman, damn sure, needs to have some fun, especially how silly that character can be. So I'm a little concerned that Snyder's going to take take it too seriously. So I'm really hoping that doesn't happen, but we'll see. Something I did also like, or that I'm intrigued by for sure in this new version of the film, is that we're getting more Ray Fisher. Now, I thought Cyborg was an incredibly well done part. Even in the Justice League cut that we got, I thought they did a great job of making Cyborg really the heart of the film. But I will be the first to admit, I was very bummed that so much of his stuff was cut off as far as him pre-accident. So I'm happy that we're gonna get that backstory, and that's gonna really add more weight to his origin and really see what his dad was trying to build. If you notice, they do focus in on this woman of color. I'm assuming that's his mom. So the fact that she's in attendance, it shows that that's clearly right before the car accident that kills her and maims him. Which I'm very curious how they're going to go ahead and show that. My favorite part of this whole trailer is seeing the black suit. It's a very nice callback to Man of Steel to see Superman in the new clean black suit, which he got from the Kryptonian ship. I love that. I love that shot. Another shot I love is Ezra Miller going ahead and saving Kiersey Clemons, Iris West, of course. I really hope they keep her for the Flash movie. I really do. I want to see more of that, but we'll see on that. Ezra Miller, of course, like his potential scandal notwithstanding, he's an incredible actor. I thought he was great in the cut of Justice League that we got. So, hey, if we get more of him, right on. I'm excited for that. Something else that was cut was more Cyborg stuff, because Cyborg doesn't really get a chance to grieve about his parents. And so there is this, I think, a great shot of Cyborg who just breaks down at his parents' grave, and you just see him punching the ground. I think that could be an incredibly powerful scene if they do that correctly. So I'm really excited to see how that works, and that scene completely fleshed out. Going through here some other stuff. Silas Stone, who's played by Joe Morton, he, if you remember, he makes it to the end of Justice League, the in the cut that we have so far. But I remember Snyder said that back in 2019, that with an image that he had presented, that Silas was supposed to die in Star Labs, and I really wish they actually wouldn't have put that in the trailer. I wish they would have kept that death. Like, I mean, you know, the parents die if you've read Justice League or you're familiar with Cyborg, but I was just kind of like, you should have kept that on. But okay, whatever. Yeah, that was a bit of a bummer, but what are you gonna do? If you notice, there is a shot. It looks like in the final battle between Steppenwolf and the Justice League, where Superman goes ahead and punches Steppenwolf and just sends him flying through the air, and it does admittedly feel pretty fucking epic. So I'm excited about that. The last thing I think for me that did get me really excited, outside of one more thing I'm going to bring up, is that there are some shots where, if you notice, that Barry, it looks like he's in the Speed Force, and it looks like the colors actually change from like a light to a dark, or I believe it's a dark to a light. Pardon me. I think that's the Speed Force. I think that's him going back in time. Snyder kind of teased that the Flash would have powers that you haven't seen before, and I feel like that's what we're probably going to get. So I think that maybe, just maybe, Barry goes back in time, and maybe that sets up Flashpoint or something like that. Like, I'm curious how that's going to be fleshed out. And then the last thing that for me really did stand out that made me go, all right, is Barry Allen is talking about the threat of Steppenwolf, saying that he's already cut down, like the universe essentially. And Batman, Ben Affleck, who apparently is back in the cowl, really had this moment that has this line that I went, wow. He talks about how, I don't care how many demons, I'm paraphrasing, I don't care how many demons or universes he's cut down. Like, he's never fought us united. It's funny and it's ironic because honestly, it might as well be the synopsis for the whole film. But it really is the message, and it's kind of a reward to the fans who've been, insane, about the whole Snyder cut movement, It's gonna be interesting. Like, above all else, whether this works or it fails epically, which I'll be the first to admit, again, I kind of hope it does. It's gonna be interesting to see when this comes out, when this does eventually come to fruition. It was confirmed that we're getting 4 1-hour parts of this, so it's a 4-hour movie essentially. And look, I'm just gonna end it with this, because I can already hear some people, and I've already had arguments with a couple of my friends about it already today, about, well, you sat through Avengers Endgame, that was 3 hours. I'm like, well, yeah, I sat through that, but that film was also wrapping up, 21 films worth of arcs. This is wrapping up, not even wrapping up, this is based on like 4 films. Man of Steel, BVS, I guess Wonder Woman, if you count. So 3 films. That's even worse. Oh my god. I really don't see a world where this is. So here's what I will say in closing. The floor for this needs to be the first Avengers to justify all the crap we just went through. Like, if this is even just a good movie, like a B, that won't be good enough for me, because you've had people yelling at each other and taking up billboards, signing petitions for a fucking movie. So if this is only like a B level film and it's like, oh, it's good. No, that's not enough. This needs to be great at the very least. So if this is not a great film, all you all you Snyder Cut fans, you're gonna have to eat some crow. You're gonna have to eat some humble pie because good is not okay in this case. This needs to be an excellent film. So, but I will be the first to admit, I have sat here on this podcast and given films and TV shows credit that it hurt my heart to do it. It hurt my pride to do it. If this is good, I'll be the first one to go, hey, Snyder, fair enough. You got me. Don't know why you didn't do this before, but you got me. So we're going to find out. I think we'll get an announcement at the second part of Fandom, which I believe is September 12th. So it's like a couple weeks away. So I'm curious. I'm curious to hear what people thought. If I'm rating this trailer, I'd probably give it I'd give the panel an F. Like I hated that panel, and I have to admit that does color my review of the trailer a little bit because again I watched the panel and that's how I saw the trailer. I'll give this the trailer a B. Yeah, I'll be kind. I'll give it a B. But yeah, as far as the panel, Zack Snyder, stop being a dick. But guys, Zack Snyder's Justice League. Are you hyped for it? Are you terrified? Are you hoping it just rises from the ashes? Are you hoping it sucks? Let us know what you thought in the comments below. You can like us on Facebook at The Real Pineapple. You can follow yours truly on the Twitter at JHunterRealPineapple. You can follow Scott on Twitter at Nearman1st. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can find us on SoundCloud, Apple and Google Podcasts, Podbean, iHeart and Stitcher Radio, TuneUp, and Spotify at The Real Pineapple. Guys, thank you so much for listening. I will have a review up for Borat. I will review up for Summerland, along with some other stuff coming up here this next week. If you're on the West Coast, especially California and Nevada, please stay safe. We got the fires going on here. Please wear a mask. Take care of each other. Stay safe. Love one another. And we will talk to you guys soon. Take care, guys.